Me? Talk about yourself.
Well, it's that time of year when typically when you turn your clocks back, which we did about a month ago, you check your smoke detector batteries to make sure that they are operating properly. If you don't use the fallback in time to do it, then use the holidays. And this is typically a good thing to do. When you're out buying wrapping paper and presents and batteries, you buy batteries for your smoke detectors and you replace them even if you don't think they need it. Biannual changing of the batteries will ensure that they work when needed and can save a life. Please be sure to check the detector once you change the battery, because you want to make sure that it works. Especially in today's environment, we had the string of arsonists in Provincetown. You want to make sure that your smoke detector batteries work and that you're protected at night. What are you doing? It may be wise to also create a fire escape route in case of an emergency. Your household may want to meet and discuss safety precautions such as fire extinguishers, rope ladders in each bedroom that is on an upper level, and making sure that windows open and are not painted shut. In a lot of homes in Provincetown, especially the 100-year-old houses, the windows are painted shut. So you want to make sure you can open them in case of an emergency. But you never want to think about these things when it's too late. Also, plan to hold an actual fire drill in your house with everyone's there, whether it's your loved ones or roommates or tenants. I know it sounds hokey, but it could save a life. If you have a fire drill, you'll know exactly what to do in case of an emergency. Being overly cautious does not sound too crazy these days. This is also a time to check the timers for exterior and interior lights. It's getting dark really early now, about 4:30, and you want to make sure you adjust the time so your lights go on once it gets dark. Typically in the summertime, it's set to like 7:30, 8 o'clock. You want to make sure you turn it up for like 3-4 hours. You don't want your property sitting in the dark for too long. We all read the headlines these days, especially in Provincetown, and know what's happening. An ounce of prevention is worth a life in some situations. Please be wise and exercise fire safety. Be sure to tell your neighbors and friends and report any suspicious behavior you see to the authorities. And that's the closing table.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's very helpful, especially, you know, the whole lighting thing, because, you know, recently there has been a band of arsons.
Well,
in P-Town. And
everyone thinks they were, that whoever it was went on vacation, like they were in Provincetown, because they stopped.
They must have left during the storm.
Well, the last one almost killed a firefighter, and I think that could have scared the arsonist. But who knows?
Why would it scare an arsonist? Because would an arsonist care about that?
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, painted windows, shut.
Well, you know, in old homes. Remember my old house in Salem?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I had an old Victorian, and sometimes
you had a mind of its own.
You had to slice the paint away, because you get people who just paint, they don't care.
Yeah.
And then you have to open it up, and it's the paint sticks and whatnot.
That's crazy.
But we've got to get to you in the kitchen cooking pierogi, so we should probably take a break.
Into the kitchen.
Into the kitchen.
An old footage of me cooking.
Old footage.
Old footage.
But it's great. We're going to revisit an old show.
You know, we want to share this ethnical delight with you.
How are you doing that?
In a lot of different ethnic
Oh,
look at that sexy.
So let's go to the kitchen and see Brian in action.
Welcome to the kitchen again. Today we're going to be making a real ethnic food today. If you tuned in last week, we used garlic, but we're going to use a lot of garlic today in this food, because this is calls for a real lot of garlic. And it's going to be a Polish dish we're going to be making, and it's going to be a lazy pierogi. You might be familiar with the regular pierogis that kind of look like raviolis, large raviolis, and they're stuffed with typically cabbage or potato and cheese. But today we're going to be making a lazy man's pierogi, and it consists of cabbage and sauerkraut. And our ingredients for the dish are egg noodles. You want to use an extra wide egg noodle. So we're going to want to use about 2 packages, 12 ounces each, of the egg noodles. Then you're going to use about 2 sticks of margarine. We're going to use margarine. This is not a low-fat dish for all you people out there. The garlic will cut the fat, though, so you don't worry about it. And a large head of cabbage. And you're going to want to do is take all the outside exterior leaves off. They're usually brown and kind of dirty, so take those off. Wash the cabbage really well. We're going to use about 3 large onions. And then we're going to use a lot of garlic. As I said, we're going to use about 8 ounces of garlic. So that's a lot of garlic. You're going to use about 30, 35 cloves of garlic. And you want to chop that up. And then we're going to come over here first and we're going to wash the sauerkraut. You're going to use about 1 package of sauerkraut, about 10 ounces of sauerkraut. And sauerkraut tends to be really salty and sour and bitter. So you really want to wash it really well with warm water. And you're going to want to really soak that and squeeze it out. Squeeze out all that salt and that sour. And we're going to cut our onions up. And I already have some cut up here. And you don't want to dice these. You want to cut it in half, the onion in half. And then you're going to take the onion and kind of slice it on its side here like that. And then turn it around. And you want to dice it. You don't want to dice it too fine. You want to leave it relatively large because, like I said, it's going to sweat down. It's going to become translucent. And you want to really just kind of smash the garlic like I showed last week. And you're going to take the whole clove and you're going to take the knife and you're just going to press on it really hard. You're just going to kind of smash it. So you want to just open it up. You want to release those juices and the flavors of the garlic. Smash it a bit. And you want to chop it, not too fine. You can have big chunks of this as well. I like big chunks. I like to bite into a chunk of garlic when I'm eating this dish. You know, and it has a lot of garlic, so you're bound to bite into a piece of garlic. Now we're going to go to the cabbage. Like I said, you want 1 really large head of cabbage. And you'll see on the bottom of this cabbage that it has a little knob on it, the root. You want to chop that right off. You don't want that going in. And you want to chop this down, you know, slice it. Same with the onion. You don't want too small pieces with this because this is really nice. This is also going to get translucent. And you know, it's going to sweat down and it's going to, you know, it may seem like a lot of cabbage, but it's really not. So you don't want to chop this too fine. This is pretty good consistency. We'll add a stick of butter first. We'll add and then we'll add the other stick of butter after, pretty much after it's kind of cooked down a little bit. We're going to turn the stove on a medium high. You don't want it too high. So you don't want to burn the garlic. Heats up really quickly, and then we're going to add the other ingredients so that the garlic doesn't burn. So you want to add all the garlic. Add all the garlic. This is great stuff. You don't want to burn the garlic, like I said. You just want to saute this really quickly till it becomes a little bit of sort of golden brown. Add the onions. Add all the onions at this point. And the onions have a lot of moisture in it, so that's really going to prevent the garlic from burning as well. And that moisture will all sweat down and we'll have these nice golden onions. And you want to get the onions to the point where they're translucent too as well. A little bit golden as well. While the onions are sauteing, I'm going to add a little bit of celery salt. Probably about a teaspoonful of celery salt. You don't add too much. We're also going to add some garlic powder for an additional zap of garlic. Probably another teaspoon as well of garlic powder. And then we're also going to add to this, let's stir the pinch of salt. And you're going to add salt to taste as you like it. If you're heart healthy, which you